right, how's everybody doing? So we made it another day. We're up to the 24th now, I think. So over the weekend, stuff happened, but stuff didn't happen, right? We had the blizzard still ongoing, so for all you people up there in the Northeast, I feel for you. You're getting pounded. But one of the things that happened was okay. So you had the and I keep saying sports plays into this. So you had the men's hockey team won their first gold medal since they won it back in 1980. Now, it's the 80 part. 1980. Forget everything else. Forget how many years it's been. There's an 80-year cycle that goes on here. And so that brought the completion this weekend to one of those 80-year cycles. Um, and we also had the shooting at Mar-a-Lago. And what do you associate Mar-a-Lago with? Trump, right? So that and they tell us again. I go back to a movie, Men in Black 3. Where there's death, there will always be death, right? So instead of potentially Trump getting shot, somebody else got shot and killed. The shooter, they say, right? Instead of the shooter getting away this time. So there was a couple of timeline closures that happened over the weekend as we traversed the void here to wherever. Um, Now, I know there's a lot of talk, and I've mentioned this before, about the blood moon March 3rd, this third blood moon on Purim in a row. That probably signifies the three world wars we've been in. So if we get through the third without anything major breaking out in the Middle East, because it seems like they're on a big stall over there. There was this big push, negotiations, peace treaties, and like I said, everything you see play out here is going to be the path that leads to destruction. So it just is what it is. They're going to, just like the Bible says, they're going to say peace when there is no peace. It's specific timestamp related. We're not going to see it. Okay. So just like, the Olympic team winning gold for the first time in 80 years, that's just how I see that. There's a lot of talk about, you know, potentially Donald Trump getting shot and rising from a head wound. Well, that could have happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, where his ear got clipped, whether you believe that or not. Or it could also be the simple fact that the USS Abraham Lincoln was shot in the Ford Theater, right? A head wound, and now that mighty iron, so to speak, is over at the gate. It all happens symbolically. The stories are symbolic and they play out symbolic, so that's why it's very hard to judge which symbolic act we're looking at. But I'm a person that wholehearted believes in tomorrow is promised to nobody. So I can only look at the immediate events that are coming down the road. I can't project it out. Because again, let's go back to another movie. If you ever seen I, Robot, when Will Smith is running around trying to solve the crime, he keeps getting told, I can't answer this question, I can't answer that question, but what does he get told? Now that's the right question. So in a lot of this, you do have to ask the right questions. And some of them, like I said, my biggest question growing up when I was a kid is, why do we keep going through all these resets? And that's been answered for me. I never stood up there and said, my goodness, when is this great day? Because that probably would have been given to me too. I just wanted to know why the resets. I wasn't worried about none of it. Um, but during the resets and why they happened, you can kind of see those events playing out, so hence, we got the three domes that show up on the Hanukkah menorah if you turn it upside down. I've gone over all this. So the next big event I'm looking for is actually today and tomorrow, quite honestly. Um, uh, there's a celestial event happening right now. It's ongoing. And then we have the planetary alignment coming up on the 28th. And that could be very huge too, because even in the news, they'll tell you it's a rare planetary alignment, right? And I've been saying for a long time, this is bigger than us, okay? When you look at the constellations, there's 12 of those, right? And somewhere in the book it says a third of the stars were thrown to the earth. Excuse me. And it's just ironic. I don't believe in that out of the 12 constellations, a third of that would be four. We have four inner planets and four gas giants, corresponding dead suns, because I think that's all a gas giant is a star that died. And oddly enough, we have about a third of the U.S. military right now all in the Middle East, a third of the Navy. There's a big contingent over there. So it may be that we're just buying time until symbolically we get through that third blood moon with nothing happening. I'm not sure. But like I said, I don't look too far down the road. Right now, I'm looking at the next 24, 48 hours going into the Parade of Planets that goes on this weekend. So, and there's a lot of other stuff going on. Like I said, it's just hard sometimes to get motivated to do these videos, mainly because I know when the event happens and everything flips, we're not going to remember this. It's not like we're going to have some kind of perspective and I'll be able to sit there on the other side and go, oh, got this part right, got this part wrong. It doesn't matter to me. One of the things I found funny is a couple years ago when the USS Gerald Ford was actually conducting its hull testing down in the Caribbean off the coast of Florida, and a building fell down. I did a video on this, and I said that symbolically it represented directed energy weapons. And lo and behold, fast forward, what has it been, 3-4 years since they did that? And now you've got the Gerald Ford on active duty down in the Caribbean. And when they went in and got the Venezuelan leader, what were they talking about? They used some kind of directed energy weapon. Now, did I see that event playing out like it did? No. I just saw the symbolism behind it. And like I said, you can go back and watch that video, and I talked all about, even then, it was directed energy weapons. So it is what it is. I mean, I'm no psychic or nothing. I just kind of fell into that one, so to speak, just watching the symbolism of everything. So stay warm up north. Please, it's it's just crazy what's going on up there. And tick, tick, tick. We're just watching the days go by. Love y'all. Bye bye.